This is Rafi Bastos. He is the biggest stand-up comedian in Brazil. He's hosted Brazil's version of SNL. He's an actor, a television personality, and he has now built an entirely global audience purely in a second language. He taught himself English just so he could travel the world and do his passion. He grew up originally in Brazil, a country where life can be hard and laughter is survival. People are making jokes in favelas, they give ruthless nicknames to their friends, and they oftentimes turn their pain into comedy before it becomes despair. But what makes Rafi different is that he's always been a little bit outside of Brazilian culture. He's always been a little more skeptical. And of course, that makes him so funny. He's like Brazilian Larry David, right? He's an immigrant comic that now is in America that is discussing American life and American culture and the English language and why airplanes are so crappy for tall people. In today's episode, we talk about why Brazilians are so funny and why happy cultures can sometimes ignore real problems and what happens when a comedian stops trying to be viral and starts really being honest. Rafi is just a brilliant guy. He's one of my favorite stand-up comedians. I get to watch him every single week at the Comedy Cellar, and on top of that, he's just a truly amazing person. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode half as much as I enjoyed having it. So without further ado, sit back, relax, and welcome to Camp. Rafinha, how are you, brother?
My pleasure, brother. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Thank you for joining me. I'm very excited. It is not always that I get a comedian superstar like yourself in the room.
Superstar, wow.
Superstars, I think.
You gotta tell the bookers. Doesn't matter. They're not gonna book me.
Maybe they're listening. Who knows? Not only are you a superstar in America, but in Brazil.
In Brazil, yeah.
One of the biggest comics in the whole country.
Yeah, I would say one of the biggest comics. I would agree with that, yes.
You even said to me that your American Instagram has just now gotten on par with your Brazilian profile.
Because it's not actually in America. It is in English.
Fair.
So I have like followers from all over the world now. Like, it's crazy. I did like a tour in the Middle East. Mm-hmm. I go to Italy and I have Italian people watching me. That was not the plan when I built like an Instagram in English, because I was trying to conquer an American audience, but I was able to build like an Amsterdam audience.
Right.
I wasn't the plan, but it happened, it's crazy.
And it's interesting anytime someone has a massive audience in a very specific region of the world, right? I was hanging out with an Australian friend of mine who is a very big comic in Australia,
Perfect.
But has only 600,000 followers on Instagram.
Okay.
And I was like, I know people, I know like a makeup influencer with 3 times this.
Oh, yeah.
But this guy, when we walk around Australia, shuts it down.
Yeah.
Everywhere we go, there's kids running up to him. Can I have a picture? Because it's such a small country that when you have 600,000 in a country of 25 million,
small in population, but
exactly,
it's huge.
Yeah, geographically, it's too big. But he's so famous in this population. So I wonder, when you walk around Brazil, are you being accosted on the street? Are people stopping you? Are you getting photographs nonstop?
Well, and I'm not gonna say that every people approaching is the nicest one.
Fair.
But it is. I have a very nice audience in Brazil, and because of the options I made in Brazil in my career, now I have an audience that really, really are with me.
Yes.
They are with me.
They
support me. It's not only like, but that happened too. Oh, how are you, Rafi? I'm a big fan. But now, like, people who pay to watch me, they're like, bro, that's so good that you're here. I see myself in you. So I see that a lot now.
Yes.
I feel like for a while I was just a famous person, which is also a good position to be in. But now I feel like my audience really likes me, like they enjoy what I do. They follow my journey. Mm-hmm. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's not as big as it was like 10 years ago, but I feel like it's more engaged.
It's more honest. It's more connected.
It is. It is. No doubt, for sure. But yeah, like the problem in Brazil, like we are very isolated. Mm-hmm. It's a huge country. We have, 350 million people in Brazil. But if you think about it, we are the only country that speaks Portuguese in the area. Mm-hmm. So it's us. Like a Brazilian comedian can only tour in Brazil, Portugal.
Yeah.
Well, Angola, if he wants to, to make just a few bucks, because the money is not that much. The currency sucks. You can go to Cabo Verde. Like there's like just a few places that we can go, Mm-hmm. So for me to do in English was a way for me to just go, to do more than just my people.
Yes.
Because we are very limited because of the language.
But this is one of my favorite topics because I've maybe shared this before on this show, but I'll share it with you. My father traveled in Europe for like his work. And so growing up, he would come home and he would tell us stories from all the places he went.
And you probably have brothers everywhere in the world.
Exactly. I hope to meet them, please. Reach out to me, okay? Hopefully they book some shows. It'd be nice. But he travels all over. And every time he comes home, we sit at the dinner table. He comes home, he brings gifts, he brings souvenirs from wherever he went, and then he tells me stories about this is why the Dutch are funny because they're very serious, and here's why Germans are funny, here's why Italians are funny, and then you go to North Italy and you go to South Italy, they're very different, and he would just explain these cultural stories, and the whole family table, all 6 of my siblings, we would just sit there and laugh.
That's cool.
And I became so obsessed with cultural perspective through a comedic lens. It was my favorite thing, which is why I love talking to comedians that have dominated a specific culture, but just in any sense come from a different part of the world, because you have a lens on not only America as an outsider, but on Brazil and the Brazilian people as an insider. So I'm curious, or maybe just to start, why are Brazilians funny? What do Brazilians do that you find funny?
We, more than funny, Brazilians are happy.
Yes.
We are a happy population, because it's still a poor country. It's very difficult to live in Brazil. It's not easy to live in Brazil. It's a poor country, but people find ways to have fun. It's like a tropical country, which already helps. We see like some similarities with Australia, like with the weather and stuff. So that helps a lot. Because like being on a winter for like 3-4, like in New York, 5 months, people are angry all the time. But in Brazil, it's a hot country. People find ways to deal with adversities in a very fun way.
Like what?
Because there's a lot of poor people living like in dangerous areas. You need to find ways to survive. And surviving in Brazil is not only being able to pay for food, is having fun, is entertainment, is being entertained. So there's a lot of funny people all over the country, like musicians, like you see those guys, the country guys in Brazil, the sertanejos, they don't know how to tell a joke, they have fun with each other. You see in the favelas, like I did stories in the favelas. The favelas are the slums in Brazil in the mountains. Like you go inside and you see people like sharing a tiny little place with 12 people and then find ways to crack jokes and to be funny, because that's the way we are able to survive. That's a good thing and a bad thing at the same time. I even say this on stage. Happy people sometimes have a hard time to see real problems, So that's what I say on stage. People have dance and have so much sex, and they're like, oh, corruption, who cares? I'm fucking. Like, well, they don't care.
Right.
So we find ways to have fun. Of course, there's people worry about different problems in Brazil, but when you're too happy, sometimes you have a hard time to see like life is hard and you have been taken advantage of. It happens a lot in Brazil,
Right.
So we need to balance the fun, the carnival, the dancing on the streets,
The BBLs.
with the BBL, with searching for a better life for ourselves.
You need both.
Yeah. So Brazilians are fighters. We are fighters. We find ways to deal with life in the most fun way possible.
I mean, top 5 happiest countries in the world.
Oh yeah, we are on the top 5?
Yeah, you have Nicaragua.
Oh no, we are not in the top. Oh, we are?
Yeah, you have Nicaragua, you have Brazil, Slovakia, Latvia, and Uzbekistan.
Oh, so we are at 7th place.
No.
No?
There's a lot more.
There's a lot more.
Yeah, you've misled me.
Oh, yeah,
you misled me.
You're telling me that Denmark... forget about the
Go to the top. Go to the actual top.
Forget about this ranking. Fire Chris. It's a horrible website. You're telling me that we lost to Iceland. Bro.
Yeah, they don't have any butt lifts over there.
Bro,
and somehow,
Iceland.
and you're trying to convince me they're happy.
It's probably the saddest place in the world.
I've never been, but this just seems like this is paid for by whoever does like healthcare. There's like, if you have healthcare, you're happy. And you're like, all right, sure, okay. There's no carnival in Iceland.
Oh yeah, no, they're not.
They're missing it.
Bro, happiness at the end of the day, even in the worst situation, end up being a choice. And I think we kind of know that. Brazilian people, you know? So in the worst adversities, we are able to have a good life, to be connected with our families, to have barbecues. Like Brazilians, they work the whole week to be able to pay for a good barbecue on the Sunday and share, laughs and share music and dance. So it's amazing.
Is it a nickname culture? Like I have friends, like specifically Jamaicans and Mexicans I've found are nickname cultures where people will give you nicknames based off of like one thing that happened to you or like how you look.
Or disabilities.
Or a disability. So there's a few I can think of. I had like Mexican friends, like if you were fat growing up, you were gordo. Like you just were fat. And that's how they, gordito maybe.
Gordo.
And then like there was a Jamaican guy I knew and they called him Buckets. And the reason is because he had one leg that was shorter than the other leg. So every time he walked, it looked like he was carrying a bucket.
Yes.
And that just was his name.
I had a friend in Brazil in the wheelchair. He had like half of the legs and his nickname was Lie because lie doesn't go too far. Yeah, we make fun of disabilities. I had a friend that his nickname was Zé do Relógio. Zé do Relógio is like Joseph of the watch. Because one day he showed up wearing a watch. And that was his nickname for like 25 years.
Because he just had a watch.
Because we didn't know him. We didn't know his name. Zé is like something used for anyone. Like if you show up with a hat, you'll be Zé of the hat. So he was Zé of the watch. Zé is a very like common name that you use for anyone.
This is Italians do the same thing, right? Like in New York, Italians would be like, yeah, that's Joey Donuts.
Yeah.
And why is that? Well, he's eating a donut. It's just that's what I call him.
That's it.
It's the same culture. It just kind of changed a little bit.
Same thing.
That's so funny.
We have nicknames, but it's crazy because in America, you guys are very like nicknames are short and respectful. Like Mark, Marky.
Yeah.
You have John, Johnny. In Brazil, you have Cabaço, which is a guy who never had sex. It's like, why you go there? Yeah, we do that.
That's so funny. Just Johnny the Virgin. You're
Yeah,
like, he has
Johnny
two
the
kids. You're like, yeah, but I used to be a virgin.
He was a virgin 35 years ago. Yeah. He's still that guy.
I love that.
Yeah.
There's also a specific term in Brazil, and I'm going to pronounce it incorrectly, and I might need you to Google it, okay? I believe it's called Resenha. Resenha.
Resenha.
Resenha.
Is when people sit down and just have a conversation about a topic.
That's what this is. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about.
Resenha is like, it's a fun conversation that you have with your friends. That's it. Yeah.
So, like, how would this be used? Like, hey, we're doing a
we are
resenha?
Yeah. Oh, the resenha yesterday was amazing. Like, you and another guy had a conversation. How was yesterday at José's house? Oh, the resenha was amazing. Like, the conversation, the talk.
Just the hang.
Yeah, the hang.
The hang.
Exactly.
I see. It's a great term. Like, it's great.
Yeah,
like,
resenha is awesome.
Because that's like the point, right? It's like, okay, we're going to get together. Is there food involved? Is it like
No. Resenha can be just people talking.
Just talking shit.
You need to be talk. If you just go eat, there's not a resenha. It needs to have it's connected to a good conversation.
Can it be bad? Can you say the resenha was bad? Or is it implicit that it was good?
A resenha foi uma merda. Yeah, no, it can be bad. Yeah. Olha, and also you can use resenha if you say like someone that talks too much. Lá vem ele com a resenha. There he goes with his resenha. It's like too much,
That's so funny.
So it's talking.
The Brazilian accent is fantastic. It's one of my favorites.
Do you think so?
I do. I grew up in Florida. I grew up in Florida with
I don't agree, but that's
a ton of Brazilians.
Okay.
My coach growing up, Marcos Machado.
Okay.
And he said, Marcos, you need to pass the ball. You need to move with the ball. You need to move.
A soccer coach.
Exactly.
Okay.
And it was like that.
So you play soccer?
Of course.
Were you good?
In my youth, I was good. In my youth, I was good from like 10 to like 14.
Then people got better than you.
And then people got way better. Okay. And I lost the spark, I think.
You didn't want to do it anymore?
I just got a little like burnt out. But when I was like 12, and I don't want to brag, I was on
you can brag.
The best.
It's your podcast. You brag.
That's a good point. You know, I needed that.
Yeah, it's just
when I was 12, I was on the best team in the country. And like we would play in like these national tournaments. We'd go up to like Pennsylvania and Georgia.
Where
and stuff.
was it?
This was in Florida. This was my team.
Which city?
In Orlando. And
So you're telling me that Orlando had the best soccer team in the country?
it's hard to believe. We'd go down to
It's
South
very hard
Florida.
to
We'd beat up the Brazilians down there and the Haitians and the Jamaican. Everyone. We were back. Everyone on that team ended up either playing professional or D1. I was one of 2 kids that said, you know what, I'm good. And I filtered off. So I was the worst
you
of the
just
best.
got tired or you just got bad?
Both.
It was a little...
Both. Because I was starting, and then as I got to like 13, 14, I was like the first sub off the bench.
Well, the bench in soccer sucks because
Yeah.
sometimes you just don't play.
Yeah.
And then you go, travel somewhere, and you just don't step on the court.
You put on the warm-ups, and then you just stay in the warm-ups,
that's
and you never tear them off. You just sit and warm. But it was, and then I moved to another team that was worse, but I was playing more, and then I just kind of filtered off. Okay. But I played soccer all growing up, and I had so many Brazilian coaches. As a matter of fact, this is another brag. All right,
you can brag.
I played with a guy whose last name was Nascimento.
Well, there's maybe the most common last name in Brazil.
But there's one Nascimento.
Pelé, but that was like my friend is Tatiana Nascimento. That doesn't mean shit, man.
But his father
Was Pelé.
was Pelé.
You're kidding me.
I swear to God. His name was Josh Nascimento. He was a great guy. He was
Josh Nascimento.
Yes, and it was
Well,
Pele's.
Pelé had like 155 kids, so you're probably not lying.
I'm not lying.
Maybe I'm his
Maybe.
too.
You're too tall.
Josh Nascimento.
Yes, I'll FaceTime him right now.
You have search for Josh Nascimento. Oh
Yes.
yeah, there is Josh Nascimento. So he was born in America. Oh yeah,
Yes.
he looks like Pelé.
Oh yeah, and Pele came to a game
He did.
He came to one
Pelé
game.
played here. You know that,
for
right?
the Cosmos.
Cosmos.
In New York City.
Oh, he was in New York. I didn't know.
Yeah,
that.
the New York Cosmos. It was this is back before MLS. It was like the USL, I think.
Oh,
and
so there was a league here.
Yeah.
Cosmos. Oh, look at this. Look just like Pelé.
yes, and he was the best.
Oh, there's a picture with him in Pelé. Probably in the time that guy was playing with Mark.
Yeah, honestly,
This
probably.
was his age.
That was me. That might have been at the game. I might be
Maybe
in the
you
background.
were in the background.
Yeah, maybe. I might be. But all that to say, Florida has tons of Brazilians.
Yes, I know that.
It's so many.
Yeah.
And I had a very
Too much, by the way.
well only at Disney.
Spread a little
At
bit.
Disney, it's too much because you guys walk around with the flag.
But now there's a lot of Brazilians moving to Florida. A lot of Brazilians.
Yeah.
moving to
Well,
Florida.
it makes sense. I think Florida's very transient. It's very free.
It is.
A lot of corruption.
Yeah. But so you used to live in Orlando.
Yes, exactly right. And Brazilians, I would see them all the time because they would go around the tourist sites,
Okay.
and there'd be 50 of them, all in matching T-shirts with one leader
You're talking very loud.
talking very loud with a giant flag.
Oh, nice.
And you just wave the flag, and they would all just follow.
But let me tell you something. This is my people. That's not me. You know, it's crazy because I love them, but I was never that guy.
In
With
what
the
way?
Brazilians are loud.
Mm-hmm.
Brazilians are happy. That's
I'm quiet and I'm sad.
I'm not sad, but there's something in the Brazilian culture that I never connect that much, that I admire from a distance, but that was never me. So when I come here and I go have lunch in a restaurant and nobody cares about me, I'm happy.
Interesting.
So, but I love my people. If I go and people comes to support me,
Of course.
I hug, we kiss. You know, it's a completely different. Like after every headlining gig I do here, at least I would say 90% of the Brazilians who showed up at the show, they take pictures with me at the end. So there's always like we take pictures and we hug and then we talk a little. We are these people.
But I think that's what makes you a great comedian. Because comedians, in my opinion, always exist on the periphery of culture.
But that was me,
that
yeah.
you observe. And even myself, I am American. I lived here most of my life, but I never fully fit into the American ethos. Like
How?
I never cared that much about like American sports.
Okay.
My parents were always like sort of politically disenfranchised. They never liked whoever the president. Like they never got involved in politics. They were never like the stereotypical American.
Okay.
And so they're French Canadian, and so there was a lot
Well,
of.
I'll give you that.
So I existed in the culture, and I spoke English, and I was everyone saw me as American, but I would sometimes feel like I don't. Whatever this thing is, this evangelical Christian American patriotism,
Completely agree.
it never was downloaded. My mom is telling me like, "Oh, look at this foreign war. This is the," you know what I mean? There was always kind of like skepticism. And as a result, I've observed American culture more than I existed within it.
So do you think this, because that's the way your parents kind of behave, made you a curious guy? Because you're a curious human being.
Absolutely. And especially my mother. My mother was like very conspiratorial. She would love reading, fringe theories and getting into all sorts of stuff. Okay. So everything was questioned. And then on top of that, my parents are very Catholic. I went to a Protestant school. And so I would come home and I'd be like, Mom, is this true? And she'd go, no, that's not true. Read this. And then I was also homeschooled by this woman. So she would just tell me stuff, we would argue. And so it made me kind of exist on the outside, similar to you, where you're living in Brazil, growing up around Brazilians. You yourself are Brazilian, but also a little bit observing the culture.
Yes.
I wonder, tell me if I'm wrong.
But now I kind of, I need, it's difficult because sometimes I didn't feel as comfortable as I wanted to be. So a few things kind of annoy me a little bit. And it shouldn't, because it's my people and it's my country. This is the way my people behave. But the education I had, my father and my mother, they never cared that much. It was never the ones going to parties and drinking beer and having a barbecue. Right. It was never my family.
Same.
So I felt like I was never comfortable in those situations. I never drank. I don't know even how a beer tastes. That's me. So I don't match, because this is Brazil. We get together. We have a resenha. That's a barbecue. We are drinking beer all day long. We start putting the meat in the fire at like 1 p.m. It's ready at 5 because people are talking and drinking. And I was like, just go to a fucking restaurant.
Yeah.
I'm hungry.
But did you have moments, like, I remember as a kid, I told my mom, like, oh, my friend wants me to sleep over at his house. And she goes, why? Like, why?
She asked you why?
She was like, why would you sleep at his house? Like, the idea of a sleepover for her was just strange. She was like, what are you going to do? And I was like, I don't know, he wants me to sleep over. And they were like, but what is the purpose? You have you sleep here. You have a bed here. Like, it just was never a thing she grew up with, like going on a sleepover. I don't know if it's generational or cultural, but she was like, this is just weird. And then I remember going on sleepovers and like I would hang with them and they would eat different food even. Like my parents always like cooked every meal. It was always like very nutritious. But then I'm going to my friend's house, like eating chicken nuggets, like watching football. And I was like, this is bizarre. This is not at all. I even remember,
but did you feel comfortable?
Yeah, like it was never like actual discomfort, but I just remember being like, this is all strange. Like the idea, like this is a very bizarre, specific one. I remember going to sleepover. It's like 10 kids, 10 dudes, like kind of from the neighborhood, and then like a bunch of the kids would just sleep in their underwear, and I remember being like, this is very no one in my family ever slept in the underwear. But then it's kind of an American thing. You're like, yeah, you sleep in your underwear.
And you slept with a pajama.
Yeah, I had specific pajamas that I wore. And I was like, this is what you wear to sleep is pajamas. You have to dress up to go to sleep. Okay. But all my friends in America, they don't wear pajamas. I don't know. It's just like, and I've never even, I mean, Chris, did you sleep in underwear? Like, is that like, I mean, you're Greek. You're not even American. I don't even.
I wear boxers too.
You wear boxers. Yeah. Did you do that as a kid?
No.
I remember having pajamas when I was a kid too.
But I was like 12, 13 maybe when this was happening. So I'm like,
that was weird. That's weird.
But I
don't think there's even a size for like the pajama size for 12-year-old.
My mom had them. My mom got them from, and I was like, yeah, this is what you wear. But it's little things like that where I was like, oh, I'm not this type of American. Okay. You know what I mean? Like,
but then you felt like they're weird, or you're like, oh, I'm weird.
I thought they were weird, and then we would pray before
and then you put your pajamas with a bow tie,
exactly.
And then you go to bed.
And then they pray before dinner, and they're like, Lord Jesus, like just be with us. Okay. And I'm Catholic. I'm like, this is not how we pray. So the whole experience, I was like, I feel like an alien.
How did you guys pray?
Like the Catholic way. You know, I mean, I guess, yeah, you're Jewish, which I think is an element of this. But, you'd say, sign the cross, and then it would be a sort of a ritualized prayer, like, bless us our Father for these thy gifts that we're about to receive from thy bounty.
Oh, there's a prayer specific.
Exactly. And like it's a specific like before dinner prayer. Nice. But it was ritualized and everyone knew it and they would recite it together. Okay. But then I go to my evangelical friend's house and they're just like, Lord, bless this food and be with us. And Timmy has a broken leg and heal his leg and just let him feel your presence. And the whole time I was like, this.
Yeah, the evangelical church now is huge in Brazil. Huge.
Really?
Yeah, huge. Huge with like big leaders and like guys doing this like mass of people that they are like cheering and they sing songs. It's a whole thing. They
Interesting.
stole a lot of people from the Catholic Church. I don't know if they stole or they just gave them a better option, a more
Right.
entertaining option.
I think with Protestantism, if I may, you can experience divinity more quickly. So like Sufi Muslims have a similar thing where Sufism is kind of like a more mystical version of Islam. And so you can experience the divine in this reality right now.
Okay.
And with Catholicism, it's very ritualistic. It's kind of like there's a tradition. But like with evangelical Christianity, you can feel God. And he's in this room and he's here right now. And I think for a lot of people, that's very attractive.
Yeah.
You know, because like that experience is so sought after. I have a relationship with Jesus. Whereas Catholics are a little bit more like, yeah, we love Jesus, we worship Jesus, but the priest is, it's kind of a little bit disconnected.
Okay.
And so I think that's why it sweeps up so much. That's my perspective. Maybe it's the one true church. Who's to say? But that's the way I see it. But like this type of thing, I remember
Yes.
going to this school.
Yeah, that's the
This is where I was going to school.
This is in
and
Brazil, right? This looks like a Brazilian guy. Yeah.
and it was like very vivacious, speaking in tongues, stuff like that. But I
In
also
Brazil, they're on TV. By the way, there's a church in Brazil, the Igreja Universal, that in here is known as Pare de Sofrer. There's a lot of Pare de Sofrer here in America. There's even one on 2nd Street close to my house. They are spread all over the world. So if you go to Europe, when I tour in Europe, I remember I would turn on the TV at night and there was a Brazilian guy, like clearly a Brazilian guy speaking French. And it's crazy because it's always like after 2 a.m. because that's when, first of all, it's cheaper to buy. And the desperate people are woke at that time. They are, they can't sleep because life is hard.
Right.
They are desperate. So then they see someone on TV talking to them and they're
about
like,
their problems.
you know what, come to the church tomorrow, 6 a.m. I'm going to talk to you. And the guy's like, can't sleep because his life sucks. And there's also in Brazil a lot of people when we found out that they were like using the money to their own, to
course.
buy big houses and mansions and stuff. But I remember there was one interview with one of those guys who is like one of the biggest leaders called Edir Macedo. So the biggest leader of the Igreja Universal. And he said something that kind of makes sense. He said like, well, you know what I do? Because people are like talking about the 10% because you need to give I don't know how to say
tithe.
Tithe? Okay.
Yeah.
Dízimo, we call it in Portuguese dízimo. So you give 10% of everything you make. So people are like criticize, like 10%, it's like a fee you need to pay the church so nothing happened. And the guy said something that kind of makes sense. It's like, okay, this guy, he arrives in the church desperate. He's hitting his wife. He doesn't have a job. He doesn't have a connection with his kids. His life sucks. He's addicted to crack. Then I clean everything in his life. He's back at the house. He treats his kid with care. Now he has a good relationship. He got a job. Some of those guys got a job and got promotions. And I get 10% of what he makes. That's a very good deal. And if you think about it, if you're saving people's lives, who am I to criticize?
Right.
Because some people need to believe in something, and that's okay. And that's okay. That's not me, but that's okay. I completely understand.
Well, I'm curious for you because your mother's Jewish?
My father is Jewish,
father's
so
Jewish.
I'm not.
I see.
They never baptized me.
Into Judaism?
Nothing.
Interesting.
Nothing. They were like, let's wait for him to decide. And then at 18, I was like, you know what? I kind of understand that, I connect more with the Jewish people. And they're like, no, so okay, so now I have to cut your cock. And I was like, I think I'm okay.
No.
I think I'm okay.
Wait, so did you get snipped?
No.
To this day?
Yeah, no.
Wow.
We don't do that if it's not for religious purpose.
Right. Well, that's so interesting.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's if anyone doesn't know, like Judaism is typically what they call matrilineal. It's tracked through the mother.
Yes.
And most other like cultures, religions.
What is the
matrilineal?
Matrilineal.
So like matriarchy, like the mother's the head. It's like the lineage through the mom.
Got it.
Where most of them are patrilineal, where it's like through the dad, right?
dad,
Like Islam and things like that. But it creates an interesting sort of culture. But you, with your dad being Jewish,
Yes.
was he raised in Brazil as well, or did he immigrate?
He was raised in Brazil. His father was from Argentina, and his grandfather was from Russia. So they went all the way from Russia to first Argentina before the war. That was before the war. So they saw, they were like, oh, something weird's happening, so they all vanished.
I see.
from
This is
that.
probably like Russian pogroms, like the persecution against Jews in Russia.
Exactly.
That's when they leave.
It was like in the 20s.
Yeah.
I think it was in the 20s or even before that.
Right.
They left. So I never had like a religious education. My father knew that I wasn't Jewish, so he waited for me to be curious. My mom never wanted to baptize me, so at the end of the day, it was just like religion was not a thing for me.
I wonder if that also contributes because like Jewish culture specifically has a certain flavor. You know what I mean? And in New York, there's so much of that. And I actually think a lot of people like describe New York culture and they're kind of describing Jewish culture because it's so imbued. So I wonder if for yourself, even though you weren't like raised Jewish, part of that, like the Jewish affect and like look on life, I wonder if your dad passed that on to you.
Oh, for sure.
And like
sure.
that also would make you
For
feel a little
sure.
bit on the outside, you know?
And yes, the way to look like my father. It's a different human being that I am. We have the sense of humor is kind of similar, but he's a completely different person. My father is the typical Jew. He suffers a lot.
Really?
A lot.
Neurotic?
And he thinks everybody's against him.
That's so funny.
Everybody wanna. So now he's 80 years old and he doesn't have like one friend.
Really?
Because he thought everybody wanna. He was a politician for a little bit, in Brazil. So, and he was involved in a corruption scandal that he never did anything. Never stole a little thing, nothing. So it was very difficult for him to deal with that. And he was depressed for a good 10 years, 15 years, I would say, because he was involved. Here's the thing with politics, you need to understand the game.
Right.
You need to understand the game. You need to play the game. I'm not saying being corrupt. You don't have to be corrupt, but you have to understand corruption. My father was just a doctor that went and decided to be a politician. And then he was involved in some type of shit that he was never actually inside. And then he was like a list of people who... My father was like depressed for 15 years and he was completely innocent. So it was very brutal for him. So if he already felt persecuted
Yes.
because of the history of the Jewish people, that wasn't bonus extra.
Yeah, it proved him right.
Oh my God.
Oh, that's interesting.
So now my father is by himself, living by himself. It's difficult.
Is there a Jewish community in that part of Brazil
Yeah,
where he lives?
that is. Yeah, there's a lot of people who came from Argentina and moved to Rio Grande do Sul because I'm from the south of Brazil. I'm from the last state in Brazil. So my culture, actually, from my state, is closer to Buenos Aires than it is to Rio de Janeiro. We have this mix of the happiness of the Brazilian people, but also the stubbornness and the irony and the sarcasm the Argentinian people have. So we are in the south. Brazil is such a huge country that you have different cultures inside of the same place.
That's so interesting.
It's huge. Brazil is huge.
Wow.
It's a huge country.
What's up, guys? We're going to take a break real quick because we got to have some real talk, all right? If you've ever brushed off white flakes from a black t-shirt, okay, that's not dry scalp or whatever you're telling yourself, right? That's dandruff. And dandruff is caused by a fungus. Now, most shampoos don't actually fix that. No, they just dry out your scalp even more, so you just keep on buying the shampoo. And honestly, a lot of these formulas haven't even changed since like the 1960s. Every big shampoo brand was developed then, which is also when doctors were like, hey, take a cigarette for some stress. And that's why I like Flakes. See this right here? This is Flakes. It is an anti-dandruff shampoo and conditioner that actually targets the problem. It's got 2 times the active ingredient perithione zinc than the standard drugstore brands, and it was developed by a top dermatologist out of New York City. Now, here's the part that most people miss. Scalp health is hair health. That dandruff fungus irritates your scalp, which then causes you to itch it all the time. Then it leads to more inflammation, and then even shedding. Yes, it even can cause you to lose your hair. Clear the scalp, and your hair will look better and fuller and healthier. And Flakes does something that's great. They don't do like the 2-in-1 lazy thing. No. Shampoo clears the fungus and the flakes, and then the conditioner puts moisture back into your scalp with MCT oil so that your hair actually stays soft and flexible instead of breaking off in the shower. Also, it smells great, like clean, it's not medicinal, it's not overpowering. There's no harsh junk in it that makes your scalp even worse off than it was before and keeps you in the cycle. I mean, straight up, I just used flakes today. All right, I'm telling you, it's so moisturizing. It makes your hair feel great. Even if you don't have dandruff, it's great for your hair, and it'll keep you from ever getting dandruff. It is dermatologist developed. It's already used by hundreds of thousands of guys, and honestly, it's just the grown-up move. And right now, you can get 20% off plus a free scalp brush, all right, and a 30-day money-back guarantee if you use the code CAMP. That's CAMP. And if it doesn't work for you, you're not stuck with it. Yeah. That's right, the promo code CAMP, C-A-M-P, for 20% off, free scalp brush, which feels incredible on your scalp, and a 30-day money-back guarantee. There's literally nothing to lose. Give it a shot. You're going to get 20% off, and if you don't like it within 30 days, just tell them, hey, this wasn't for me. You're getting your money back, and nothing is going to be lost, except, obviously, the flakes on your shirt that you've been brushing away. So look, take care of the roots, get better hair. Your black shirts are actually going to be black again. The itch on your scalp is gone. That's the flakes promise. Now let's get back to the show. But I think that also contributes because this is my theory as to why so many stand-up comedians are Jewish. Because it is in my opinion, comedy is a very Jewish art form. Like the Borscht Belt, Catskillion, upstate New York. Go to a summer camp and you entertain your people when they all leave the city, and all Henny Youngman and Milton Berle, all these famous Jewish comedians. And I think it's a mixture of being integrated into a culture, but not fully being in it,
so
being
you have an outside perspective.
But in the way that black people have an outside perspective and they make great comedians as well, people see them and they might behave differently because oh, this guy's black, so I'll speak differently. You don't fully get, specifically back in the day, you don't fully get a transparent view into white American society, but Jews did, as long as they didn't know you were Jewish. And so if they don't know, then they're talking regular, and there's an observation of American culture, but still with a Jewish lens that kind of puts you on the periphery. And so I think there's an insider-outsider perspective that created so many Jewish comedians back in the day.
I got it. Yeah, it makes sense. And it's kind of crazy because now, if I think back in the past, it's I never had a Jewish education, but there's a lot of things of Jewish culture that was embraced in my house.
Right.
The way we see the world, the humor, the observations, the isolation,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Even the Larry David stereotype of being bothered by little things.
Oh, that's totally me.
Yeah, exactly. Even as you're describing it.
It's me. What's crazy? It bothers me, but it doesn't make me an unhappy person.
Right.
That's a difference. I'm a happy guy.
Yeah.
But I hate when I have a t-shirt that kind of I don't know how to say pinica. How to say when pinica, I put this shirt that kind of it's weird fabric. And you feel
it'll sort of stick to you a little.
Yes,
yes.
Yeah. If it's too hot, if the AC is not working, I get bothered. So I get bothered and I make everybody's lives around me a living hell. But but deep inside of me, I'm so happy.
And this is the Brazilian Jewish mix.
Yes.
Bothered by things. But you're having a great time.
But that's not Brazil.
No, because they're not bothered.
Oh, Brazil, they sit down together in a group, in a round group, and they play the guitar. I want to kill myself. I want to go, it's horrible. Everybody's happy. I'm so miserable.
There's one mosquito that doesn't leave us alone, and no one notices it.
And also the people, happiness bothers sometimes. It's too much. I love my people, but the happiness sometimes is a little too much.
But you're not brooding, and you might not be anxious. You don't let it get you down. And that's the Brazilian side.
I'm not depressed. Never took any medication. I can choose to be happy in a second if I want, but things bother me a lot.
Yeah.
But that's why I was able to create comedy.
Yes.
It's kind of crazy because I feel like I have the same sense of humor, but a little bit of a different persona in my country than I have in this country.
In what way?
Because in Brazil, I was always the sarcastic guy who would make the jokes that nobody want to make, the guy that is a little bit more controversial with no limit, and the guy who get bothered by little things. In America, I feel like maybe not only because it's America, because I got older and other things start to interest me, and I start to bring a little bit of my day life to my comedy. I still have a little bit of that, but I felt like I was able to, to go to do more.
Right.
Yeah.
Like even in like you have so many bits that have like gone so viral to the point where I judge virality less on views, more if my immediate family sends it to me.
Okay.
And my aunt sends me your clips
Oh yeah, she does.
once a week. This is a French Canadian woman. She's not
Oh,
Brazilian
that's
at all,
awesome.
and she sends me the clips because I think she identifies because again, Montreal has a huge Jewish influence, so there's like a bothersome kind of like, let's go, come on, speed it up kind of thing. But she also immigrated to America, so she sends me, I dance, we dance, he dances, and she goes, I've been saying this for years. It makes no sense. Why do you people say this? And she sends it to me, but I think when you're doing the bit, it kind of comes across, and I think a lot of people be like, oh, he's being funny. I think you're actually bothered by it.
I bother. Yeah. Oh yeah, of course I am.
You're like, this language makes no sense.
No, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. But I felt like talking about language was the first instinct that I had when I moved here. I was so involved in learning English and learning as much as I can to be able to express myself in English
And perform.
That I felt like analyzing language was something that it was the thing that I did. Now that I'm here for, I don't know, 6 years already, I'm trying to run away from those bits, because I felt like I did. It was enough.
Right.
And that would build me my audience. Like, that's why I'm able to do shows at the Middle East, because they are also learning English.
Yes. And they also see how absurd it is.
They also see how absurd it is. So they like what I do. So that's why I was able to build an international audience. But now I feel like I'm trying to be more personal,
I see.
telling my stories, talking about my marriage and talking about having a kid. I'm trying to be more honest with my stories than just having an outside perspective of American culture and of the language. I still do it. I still have ideas that come, but I don't spend that much time anymore focusing on that, which I like. I'm not against it. I like it, and it was important, but it's not. I feel like it's not me anymore.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
What bothers you now? How often are you bothered on a day-to-day?
Well,
did anything bother you today?
Well, bro, what bothers me? I was just talking to my wife. I feel like economy class, because I'm 6'7".
Yes.
So,
which I need to explain that to you in a second.
Okay, yeah, you told me there's something special in 6'7". I didn't know that. Okay, so when I'm flying, I always fly economy. I feel like economy now is not like business is not a better version. I feel like economy got worse.
Yes, exactly.
It's not like, I'm going to give you a better seat. No, I'm going to give you a normal seat. I'm going to make those 85% suck now.
Yes.
That bothers me a lot.
Yeah.
Flying bothers me. You know what also bothers? A tiny little person in the emergency row.
Yeah, you can't do that.
Bro.
Yeah. Every seat's an
not for
emergency.
you.
Every seat's emergency
Exactly.
for you. Yeah. You got to be in the regular seats.
Be in the regular seat.
Yeah. Emergency row should be reserved. Be like, okay, you're too poor or too cheap, but you're also too tall.
Exactly.
This is where you go.
Oh, yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah. And also, I don't need you to ask if I'm willing to assist. You know?
Yeah, that's too much. I'm not gonna. Yeah,
I'm gonna lie.
If the plane goes down, you think I'm gonna be like, well, I was instructed to save your guys' lives.
Yeah.
So now I can leave.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. What, are you on the hook for that?
I can go there and just leave. No. I have a mission.
Like, if you leave, do you get sued? I need to know. Like, because what happens? They're like, hey, 50 people died because you didn't assist, and you go,
well, I should have. I too. No.
Yeah. No, I'm out. Yeah.
Did you see the guy who the plane crashed and he was the only one who left the plane?
11A. Seat 11A.
11A.
On India Air. Yeah. He was the only one.
Did you see the image of him just like leaving the fire? You see that?
Yeah. If this is the same flight, everyone else on the flight died.
India.
One guy lived.
Yes.
11A.
But did you see him an interview right after the?
No.
Oh no, there's an interview. Please search for this guy. There's an interview of him leaving this mess, and people are like, "Where were you?" I was like, "I was in the flight." Like with his senses and talking and just walking.
No, he was in the exit row.
Bro, I don't know if
and he lied. He was in the exit row because that's what I would say. If I was in the exit row and I left, I'd be like, "No, I was in first class. I popped out." I didn't have any obligation to assist these people. I didn't agree to anything.
He explained. There's an interview with him in the hospital too. Oh, this is him. Oh, look at this.
Whoa.
This is him leaving the. Oh, look at this. He's just walking. Oh, look at those guys. They all died.
That's crazy.
And I'm leaving. And then now there's an interview with the guy, and he explained what he did.
Whoa.
How can you tell? Oh, how can you tell this guy that God doesn't exist? You'll never be able to convince him.
There's gonna be some Christian missionaries that go down there. It's like, I know you believe in Krishna.
Oh, there's an interview. This is. Oh.
Just a few seats away from him on the plane was his younger brother, Ajay.
Don't make it too sad. Come on, Christos. Don't make it too sad. Come on, stop it.
And also, if you're the only one who survives, whatever, my brother. Eh?
Yeah. Right?
I'm sorry, brother. I'm not gonna cry for you. That was like 155 people died. I'm the lucky. Don't make me feel bad about you dying.
Yeah, don't bring it up.
Don't bring it up.
Just be happy for me, right? Why is no one happy?
Why do they have to talk about his brother? The guy is ecstatic and now he's depressed.
Yeah, right? Yeah. Like this is the perspective we need on life, you know? Look how great it can be.
Of course.
Pray to Vishnu, pray to Shiva, whoever you need.
Totally.
It saved him.
I agree.
That's so funny.
I agree with you.
Yeah, it's also one other thing that bothers me is that my wife will insist that we sit together on the plane.
Okay.
And so I say, okay, well, where do you want, it's 3 seats and 3 seats. And she says, well, we'll just get 2 seats. I go, but one of these seats is a middle seat. And she goes, yeah. I go, well, you want to sit together. I'm fine to sit window and window. We can, pass snacks back and forth. But you want to sit with the middle seat. And she goes, yeah, it's fine. And so she always sat in the middle.
That's okay.
Until we had a baby. And now she has the old rules, but she goes, well, with the baby, it's easier if I'm next to the window.
So you sit
So
in the
now
middle?
I'm in the middle seat.
With a baby in your side.
With the baby.
Oh,
and,
no.
and then she passes me the baby and goes, oh, he wants to be with you. So now I'm in the middle seat.
With a baby?
With the baby. And then she's on the side just having a great time.
Oh,
I'm like, no. We gotta revisit these rules. I think the best way, we both get aisles. And then we're on either side of the aisle. Right? Because then we're together. But we both get a little arm room, you know?
Well, I travel with the dog.
Really? A big dog?
No, but it's a dog big enough because he doesn't go in the little crate.
Yeah.
He goes in my wife's lap.
I see.
Because she has emotional, I don't know, something. Emotional support dog.
Yes.
And he travels, but he travels with her.
It's not.
It doesn't go with me.
It's not emotionally supporting it.
No. It's not supporting.
What
me.
is your emotional support?
I pay. That's such a support. It's also a synonym of supporting someone.
Yes.
It's actually paying.
Yes.
So
that is hilarious.
I'm supporting a lot.
You pay for the flight, but then she's like, I need more support.
I pay for the flight. I pay for the dog. But the dog is expensive. So every time I gotta go to Brazil, I need to go to the vet and get some like extra documents. Every time we fly, I have to pay for the dog at least like a good $350, $400.
Really?
Yeah.
For a passport?
No.
Like for
Not
what?
a passport. Dogs don't have passport.
I don't know.
No, it's like an authorization that a vet, authorized vet needs to give it to you in order for you to fly.
A dog on a flight, it has to be a good dog.
It's a good dog.
That's fine.
It's a nice dog.
If it's a good dog,
It's a very
I
good
just
dog.
I don't know how you can test for this. But I think
If it's a good dog?
yeah. There needs to be some type of process to screen if it's a good dog or a bad dog. Because I've been on flights with bad dogs.
I've never been on flight with a bad
Really?
dog. What was the bad dog doing?
Yipping. I had one dog that shit, and then they picked it up.
You took a shit.
Yeah, but I was like, you can't be shitting on them. This is insane.
You know what? That's bad.
It's a bad dog.
If he takes a shit, that's a problem.
Turn the flight around. It was they
too much.
No, turn it around. We got to turn it around. Imagine if a human did that. What would they do? If a person just shit on the plane, right? That
What would
person
they do? What do you think they would do?
they get arrested, go to prison, El Salvador.
But what
they get
about
deported.
if the guy really wanted to take a shit? That was an accident.
Well, that happened.
It's not because he took a shit that like just to mess with people.
Did you see this?
No.
This happened on a flight to Paris, I think. What's up, people? We're gonna take a break real quick because this episode is sponsored by me. Yes, Camp R&D. That is the merch. That is the threads that we be wearing around here at the campsite. And we got all sorts of cool stuff. My buddy Zach just cooked up a sick UFO collection. You can go check it out there at Camp R&D. I really appreciate you guys. We had so many people that came through for the holidays and picked up their threads. It's awesome. We got hats, hoodies, t-shirts, all that. And if you're still listening to this and you didn't skip through, congrats. You got a promo code, all right? What do we do, Christos? 5%?
More.
How much?
5 more.
10%. 10% final offer?
You won't go higher.
You tell me. What do we give them?
12%.
All right, we're doing 12% off. Should we go more?
Hey, it's your world. I'm just living in it.
Let's round up. 10%. No, 15%. If you use the promo code CAMP15, you're going to be getting 15% off. Yes. I think we should also do Camp 10. Just if someone doesn't want to take too much. Camp 10 or Camp 15. Those are the only two that are available.
And then maybe we send a little something extra to the ones that do 10.
If you do Camp 10, maybe there's something extra. No promises, but it's an interesting experiment. I'm curious to see what you guys do. Camp 10 or Camp 15 at Camp R&D. When you check out, you're going to be getting those discounts. Thank you so much for rocking with us and wearing the threads. It keeps the lights on. It keeps the fire burning. Anyway, let's get back to the show.
But what happened in the plane?
This situation here, it was forced to land because a dog relieved itself in first class. This isn't even the one I was talking about. There's a woman that had explosive diarrhea and ruined the whole aisle of the airplane, and then they just like had to clean it up. Like it was a whole thing. And the plane was like, "What do we do? Is this a medical emergency? Like at what point are they going to save more money because they have to refund people's flights because people are complaining? Do we save more money turning this whole flight around, or do we just give everyone a free ticket?"
What did they do? They just...
I think that one they finished the flight, but they had to refund everyone. Which is kind of, honestly, depending on the flight, I'd be okay with that. If I spent $3,000 for a first class ticket, and then they said, you have to be near some shit, but we'll refund you.
Oh, I would fly... Well, bro.
Then...
I would eat the shit.
Whatever, if it's fear factor, I'll do it, you know?
No, I broke my collarbone.
Oh, yeah.
And I had to fly to Brazil. Because I broke my collarbone and I flew to Brazil the next day to have surgery in Brazil.
So you flew with the broken collarbone?
Yes. And I'm going to tell you, I bought a business flight. Flying with a collarbone on business flight, much better than flying economy.
With a perfect
with a
shoulder.
normal collarbone. Much better. There's no comparison. I'm telling you, I'm not lying. I found a good position, and then I was like, then I slept.
Really?
Something I didn't do. I never do when I'm on economy class.
Yeah, of course not. Did you explain to everyone as you're going through? You went through TSA, and you're like, my shoulder's broken. Did you tell people this?
No. Why? No.
Well, I mean,
No.
they try to pat you down or something?
No, they didn't. Oh, if they did, I had to tell them. But I just told, the only person I told to was, because they gave me a seat where this was there's a little table, right, on the business class. So this was where the table was. I needed the table to be here, so I changed the seat with someone that the table was on the
And
right.
you explained the situation?
I explained the situation, the person understood.
Wow.
Yeah, it's okay.
I had someone explain the situation to me. I was flying during COVID.
Mm-hmm.
I had the aisle seat, woman in the middle seat, her husband in the other aisle. And it was like the big plane, so we're in the middle. And she gets up to go to the bathroom. We're all have our masks on. And I'm like pulling mine down to like eat, whatever, drink water, take a second, put it back up. And he leans over to me and goes, "Hey, dude, I don't give a shit, but my wife is super crazy about this COVID thing. Can you just like be cool?" And
What would you do?
I was like, "What do you mean?" And he was like, "I just saw you like with your mask down. I don't care, but she's gonna freak out." The last flight we took, she made a whole scene because the guy next to us had his mask down. Just put your mask up. Like, I'm telling you, she's just gonna lose it. And he was confiding in me, like, I can't control this lady. I need you to step up, just to be a hero for me. And I was like, all right. And I kind of did it because I was like, I don't feel like having a moment. And if I did take my mask down, I felt her staring. I felt the glare, the heat.
10 minutes later, the woman was like, "My husband here is going to create a whole story. He's going to create a whole story.
Exactly.
And please don't believe him. I couldn't care less about COVID. He's neurotic."
Yeah, exactly. They're both just putting it on each other. It was so terrifying. I was like, oh gosh. But I felt like I should step up. I should do the right thing.
Nice.
But it's specifically economy class for you because you're so tall, because you are 6'7".
But also I'm flying. It's okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now that I moved to New York, yeah, it's not a good flight. But 10 hours sitting down to go and see my son. At the end of the day, it's like life could be worse.
I need to explain the 6'7" thing to you.
Okay, sweet.
Yeah, I think you'll find this funny.
What is 6'7"?
Also, if Colum's out there, you should bring Colum in here because Colum speaks Portuguese.
Oh, he does?
Yeah. He's Kid Super. He's the guy that built the whole building.
Because you're going to say something that I'm not going to understand in English.
Exactly. I need him to translate. Okay. No, he would just love to speak to another Brazilian. His favorite soccer player of all time is Ronaldinho.
Ronaldinho. Yeah.
He did.
We come from the same city.
Really? At the South?
Mm-hmm.
Ah.
Porto Alegre. I actually saw Ronaldinho playing when he was like 9 years old. No. Because I used to play soccer too, but I was we were like, my class was like 13 and down, and he was like 9 and down. He was a little younger than me, and I remember him playing. And he would make like 12 goals a game.
Really? He was
so
that
his
good?
team would win like 15-0 everybody. They would win everybody.
Really?
Prosergs, that was the name of his team, and they would beat everybody. And Ronaldinho, at that time, Ronaldinho was known as Assis' brother because his brother was a soccer player too. We didn't know about the kid. We just knew that his brother was the guy.
No way.
And then now the brother is kind of his manager, I think.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And how do you pronounce it? Ronaldinho.
Ronaldinho.
Wow.
Yeah.
So he did a collab with Ronaldinho.
Oh, he did?
He did. He did like it was his dream to meet him, and then not only did he meet him, he did a whole fashion collaboration with him, and he was a part of the show and everything.
Did you know that Ronaldinho was in jail, right? He
Yes.
spent time in jail in Paraguay.
Oh yeah.
Paraguay. You know why? Because he used a fake passport.
Yeah.
And guess what? To go to Paraguay, if you're a Brazilian, you don't need a passport.
What is he doing? Also,
Play too much soccer.
of all people, he's the most famous guy in the world.
He went to jail.
They would look at it and go, well, "Your name's not Steven." Like, we know who you are.
Yeah.
He has a unique
Clarissa?
look. Yeah.
I don't think you're Clarissa. Ronaldinho.
Yeah, it's crazy. That's so funny.
Yeah.
But the 6'7" thing.
Okay.
This is a Gen Z meme.
Okay.
So there's a song that came out, and it's funny because at the show that you said, "Oh, I'm 6'7", a bunch of people in the audience, you didn't notice this. They all went like this.
What is that?
It's from this meme that means nothing. So, Chris,
This
you can.
means nothing. You do this?
So literally, they. I don't even know how to explain.
Tell
it.
me.
There's a song that came out that says, 6'7", and it's by this guy Skrilla. He's a rapper, and the
Oh,
song.
you said the guy with the long hair.
No, different guy. There's a famous rapper, not dubstep. You think of Skrillex.
I thought, yeah. I thought
Yeah,
it was the DJ.
No, not the DJ. He's a rapper,
Okay.
and his name's Skrilla.
Okay.
And he does a song where he says 6'7", and it became a meme. And so now, like Melo Ball, the basketball player, he's 6'7". So he'll walk out on the court, and everyone will go 6'7". And now it's just a meme. Anytime people say 6'7",
But what does that mean? What is this?
it just became a thing. And it kind of means
This movement is
it's just
connected to this movement.
that's what 6'7". It's just an inside joke, literally, to just go 6'7". So you might notice now when you go on stage, you say 6'7", there'll be one young kid with a broccoli haircut,
Going like
and he'll
this.
go like this, and now you know why. It means literally nothing other than when people say 6'7", people go.
I didn't know.
It's just an inside joke with the kids,
Okay.
and they do this all the time. The Gen Z kids will try to make memes to
What
make
is the
people
name
like
of
us.
the rapper?
Skrilla.
Oh, look at that. The phrase originated on the song .67 by Skrilla,
Yes.
which became popular in editing, featuring basketball players. LaMelo Ball. LaMelo Ball.
Yes. So because he's 6'7", people are like, "Oh, there he goes."
Got it.
So now he'll do shit, and then everyone will go 6'7".
Nice. They could do a collab with me.
Yeah,
Give me
right.
a little bit of followers.
Yeah, exactly. You're 6'7".
It's difficult to get followers in America, bro.
Why?
Because I don't know. I feel like it takes more for people here follow you. It's not that I just like one thing. For example, I'll give an example. Like Big Brother, the TV show.
Yeah.
Okay. Big Brother is still a big show in America. I got a friend of mine. She was like third place in Big Brother. She left the show with 120,000 followers. In Brazil, the last place of Big Brother leaves at least with 3 million. Because people follow you. People want to see what you're doing.
I think the culture is more consolidated.
The culture is more social. Like India. Brazilians are like India. Indian people is the same thing. We are very connected to our phones. So we want to follow. We want to see what you're doing. So that's why I was able to have a career after TV. Because otherwise I wouldn't be able to survive.
Well, I think America is also much more fragmented. Like different parts of the country, different people have different algorithms. They all talk about different things. So you might be the biggest show within a thing, but you're not and there's very few times where everyone knows everything.
Okay.
Whereas I feel like in different cultures, things are a little bit more consolidated. More people are like,
Mainstream is more mainstream.
Yes, exactly. America doesn't have a mainstream anymore.
Okay.
There's no more mainstream, in my opinion. I don't think there has been for like 7 years.
You think so?
6, 7.
What about like 6? What about talk shows and
I don't think there's not a monoculture, So your dreams of being on The Tonight Show, it'll hit people that watch it, but it's not going to be like.
Not gonna be. I understand. Yeah.
Where back in the day there was a monoculture. You went on the Tonight Show. You were out of here.
Of course.
You know.
Now you need to have your own people. You
Exactly.
need to connect directly with your people.
But I still want to see you on the Tonight Show.
I'm not gonna do the Tonight Show.
Come
The guy
on.
hates me.
Come on, bro.
The guy hates me. It's okay.
We can make it happen.
Maybe
He's listening.
It would be amazing. I wanted to do it because it would be so cool in my country. You know? Can you imagine? Because they know that.
Yeah.
They know TV.
Yeah.
So it would be everywhere. If I tell them I'm regular at the cellar, they're like,
Huh?
what? Where? Show me. This little 100-seat room in the basement of a restaurant? This is the most important place in comedy America. You are doing gymnasiums here. You're doing like fucking
The
like
arena.
arenas and theaters. Why is that so? It is important. What about Jimmy Fallon? I'm not gonna do Jimmy Fallon.
Oh, but maybe. Never say never. You never know.
Well, let's see. I wish I could, but so many people did, and it would. I just think it would be cool for comedy in my country. You know.
Yeah, exactly.
Other comics to be like, oh, this is, yeah.
Is there anything you miss about Brazil? Like, I know you go back so often, but living here, is there elements of the culture, the friendliness, of the warmth that you feel like, it is nice. I do miss this.
No.
Really? You like the American affect. It suits you right now.
I like the people. And I've been able to connect with my people doing shows everywhere in the world because we are everywhere. So I like my people. I love Brazilian people. There's nothing in the country that makes me miss, like, oh my God, because I'll give you an example, okay? If I go to a bar in America, okay? I'm going to sit down and I'm going to be by myself eating meat, drinking a Diet Coke, and watching. One TV has baseball, American football, the UFC, 5 NBA games. I was like, oh, that's heaven for me. The same bar in Brazil has like someone is singing karaoke, the other one is playing a shitty guitar, the other one is drinking caipirinha and getting drunk and screaming, and someone, it's too much. And the TV has this shitty soccer game that nobody cares about, where people are like, let go! And they don't even know the team. It's another vibe. It's a different thing. I connect more with this.
Yeah.
But I love the people.
Of course.
The people, the guy screaming, the happiness, it's lovely. That's what I like. So what I miss is the warmth of the people. And that's what also for my wife never lived in Brazil. She's there now, but she spent all of her life outside of Brazil. So she lived in Ecuador until she was 18. And at 18, she moved to LA and she lived in America the whole time. She's spending time in Brazil now. When we come back here, then we are like, oh, the treatment's so different, man. You go to a restaurant, the way a waitress treats you, it's different.
Really?
In Brazil, it's like, do you want this and do you want that? Do you want to add some more stuff? Oh, they know your name. They call you by your name. I go to the same place in New York and people couldn't care less about me, which is, to me, it's fine. But I can see why in Brazil people are like, oh, this is so different. This is family.
Yeah.
This is family.
Yeah. But the anonymity.
Do you want the same? So I'll go to a restaurant. I don't know how to say this when you go to a restaurant and they know what you're going to order.
The usual.
That's everywhere there.
Interesting.
Everywhere. You go to a place 3-4 times, they already know what you want.
The usual.
So the people are more... it's a warmth, it's more warm. It's different.
How are Americans funny? Like, what do you observe about American culture, specifically in New York, that you find hilarious?
There's an arrogance in America that I think is funny.
Like, we're the best?
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it is. It's delusional, but it's funny. It's funny. You know what I also think is funny? The fact that America know nothing about the rest of the world.
Yeah.
And I think it's funny. And I kind of respect that. It's like, I'm so big. I'm so better. Whatever. Brazil was next to Italy. I couldn't care less. There's a side of me that the ignorance, it's like, it's okay. You have everything here. Why would you need to go somewhere else?
Yeah.
It's okay. I understand the feeling. The ignorance, of course. It would be amazing if you go out of your country to know more about the world. But at the same time, I see that and I'm like, yeah, it makes sense.
Do you notice it when talking to people that like you'll describe something and they go, yeah, well, obviously America's the best, you know?
Yes, but I think it's
Speak of the devil. Speak of the devil. Yes, please interrupt. This is my buddy Colum. Colum is aka Kid Super, but also used to live in Brazil.
Oh, yeah.
Salvador, Bahia.
Oh, you viveu?
Yo, what's up, brother? How are you? We're on the pod. We're live right now. Welcome. Yeah.
How are you, my friend? How are you?
This is Fabian.
That would be, you live in Salvador?
Yeah. We're on the mic.
Yeah.
Quando eu tinha 17 anos, estava lá jogando futebol. E agora eu falo quase perfeito, velho.
How was that?
Follow bem. He speaks well.
Yeah?
Yeah. With a weird accent, but it's understandable.
Yeah.
I have an accent in English, so of course.
I thought you were gonna say that. I thought you were gonna say the accent's perfect.
No, it's good. It's good. But
he said
he lives in Salvador.
Yeah.
Salvador is it's where, like, that's Brazil. Which for me is a nightmare. But it's okay.
I thought it was gonna be so positive. Where are you from?
Too much.
Where are you from?
I'm from Porto Alegre.
That's where like the pretty people are from.
Oh, that's what.
But I that's what I was saying to him. Like, people from Bahia, the state, lovely people.
Yeah.
So nice, so lovely. But it's a lot. There's this thing called Olodum in Salvador. It's like people it's a group that has, like, how do you say this in English?
Drums.
The drums. And they are all over the city of Salvador. And it's noisy, it's unbearable. It's horrible.
On the positive note, if you've ever seen the Michael Jackson music video where he's in Brazil, it's
in
all the
Salvador?
drummers from Olodum. So he has a really negative outlook on Brazil, where most people would have a positive.
If you go there and spend a week, you're going to love it.
Yeah.
This is why he's a comedian.
Try to spend a year there. You're going to...
I spent 1 year.
You're there, okay. Did you ever go back?
Yeah, now I go back, but now I went to Sao Paulo.
But it's a beautiful place. It's an amazingly beautiful place.
Yeah, I think it's the best place in Brazil. Sao Paulo feels like New York.
No, Sao Paulo is like city of Mexico.
Yeah.
I see that.
And he said he used to watch Ronaldinho as a kid.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
9 years old.
Because in Brazil, you play soccer and you also play futebol de salão.
Yeah.
I don't know how to say
Futsal.
this. Futsal, yeah. So futsal, he was playing futsal and he was like much better than everybody else. So his team would win every game by like 12-0 and he would make like 11 goals. But at that time, I was telling him, he was not Ronaldinho. He was Assis' brother.
And Assis is the manager now.
Yeah,
Right.
And Assis is also amazing. And I was talking to them, and I was like, because they love foot volley now, which is like volleyball with their feet. And I'm like, do you guys ever play together? And the brother's like, you mean we would never lose? Because the brother's lefty. He's like, I'm lefty. Ronaldo's righty. He's like, and then I go, what's the difference between you and Ronaldinho? And he's like, Ronaldinho has my skill, but then the light of God. And that's the difference. But his brother was like an epic soccer player.
He played in Italy. He moved to Italy when he was like, at that time, people would go to Brazil and get those 14-year-old kids and take to Italy. And he was one of those guys. He moved to Italy when he was like 13 years old. You know, those people who would watch games and get the talents, and he moved to Italy when he was like really, really, really young.
Oh, wow.
So everybody would go to him like, you're amazing. He's like, if you think I'm amazing, wait till you see my little brother.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
And now, you know. But no, best guys ever. Ronaldinho's my god.
Yes.
And
Nice meeting you.
And Rafi's your new favorite
your friend.
comedian.
so you're a comedian, but do you do comedy ever in English?
I do in English.
Exclusively in English.
No, now, yeah, but I did it for 20 years in Portuguese. Yeah.
Okay. And then you're like,
No. I still do it with my people, but
He goes
But I
to
moved here.
Brazil and does arenas.
okay.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say arenas, but big theaters.
Stadiums.
Theaters.
Because I went to a comedy show in Brazil when I was living there, and I didn't understand a word.
You know where it was?
I was in Bahia. but I don't know. No, I don't know where it was. But the jokes are all about like, well, if you grew up in this city, you're like this, and I'm like, I don't know what that is at all. Or they'll be like making fun of the different accents, so like you don't get any of the jokes. But how much did you have to like learn about American culture to end up becoming a comedian?
We all know
Okay.
about them. You know, we get the music, we get the movies, we know what's New York, you know, the difference between New York and LA. We kind of all know a little bit, but living here, then I had the experience of like, you know, get to know the country, get to know the people, and then you start having ideas. I think to be able to do comedy in English, you need to move to a place that speaks English, you know, to develop the language and also to be able to observe the world a little better here, you know.
Yeah, it would be funny if you translate your exact Portuguese jokes just in English.
I did a few of those.
Okay.
If it's about family, marriage, and relationships,
It works.
yeah, I wouldn't say all of them, but it can work. Some of them did. Some of them talk about your wife being pregnant, those jokes, you know, that can work. That can't be translated. But if you talk about accent or a supermarket that you love, a cookie that your mom used to make, well, that nobody cares. You know?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Anyway.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Nice meeting you.
We have a soccer field on the roof if you want to play.
Oh, yeah?
I'm gonna take 'em
That's
up.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I'll see you guys.
Take care, man. Take care, brother.
That is Kid Super, the guy who put together this whole building.
Oh, he's the owner of the
Yes,
building. Oh, nice.
yes, he is the man, the myth, and just a great friend of mine.
I don't think he liked the fact that I don't like Salvador. He was really offended at first, and then he started liking me from the middle to the end.
Well, that's the thing. I think when he now is like very comedy fluent. Like now I've brought so many comedians around. He's like learning, but I think he's so used to meeting Brazilians, and he's like, oh, I lived in Salvador, and they go, oh, it's beautiful, it's amazing. The typical Brazilian response. We got to see a real life distinction between the Brazilian mindset and the mindset of Rafi.
Yeah, but I don't want to talk shit about my people also, you know?
Of course not.
So you understand, like, there's some things that I don't connect, but other things that I just love.
This is the comic, though. This, like, if you ask me about America, and they go, oh, what do you think about California? I go, they're all stuck up. You know, California.
What do you hate about America?
What do I hate? Oh, man, that's an interesting question. I've never thought about that.
Okay.
What do I hate?
Yeah, hate. Something that you despise. You're like, I can't believe we are like this.
I find college football so strange. I'd never understood it. Like, I would go...
What about professional football?
A little more, because it's like, yeah, they're paid, but like, you get a stadium of people that gather around to watch children play a game for free. And then these men are losing their minds over watching an 18-year-old throw a ball. And they're like, no, how could he do that? And it's a kid that's doing it for a scholarship. And the whole thing, I'm like, this makes no sense. This is an amateur game. And there's a stadium of people, 40,000 people, to watch unpaid players. It doesn't exist anywhere in the world.
Now they can have money with
the NIL.
And with sponsors and posts on Instagram.
And even that is interesting because it's like these kids are just not. I just don't understand it. It doesn't exist anywhere else. My family did not watch it growing up. They don't have. Neither of my parents went to college.
And people try to make mental health like something in this country. We are discussing about mental health. We need to take care of people's mental health. And then you turn on TV and see those games with teenagers knocking their heads against like monsters. Boom! And then the guy just passed out. The American football is amazing because you see someone passing out on the field and the guy goes, let's go to our commercials. They couldn't care less about that guy. It's so normal for someone to just pass out on the field.
And then the commercials for like some hospital. It's like, yeah, go to this, Cedar Sinai, whatever. And it's like, how is this all happening at the same time? There's also like commercialism in America that I find really funny. Cue to an ad, please. What's up, guys? We're going to take a break really quick because you know what time it is. It's time to level up, and Blue Chew just dropped something wild. Okay, Blue Chew's been rocking with us from the beginning, so of course we have to rock, pun intended, with them. All right, and what they've just done is changing the game. All right, this is next level gold medal energy. okay? This is Blue Chew Gold. If you've never heard of it, this is the newest innovation from the #1 chewable ED brand, all right? This isn't the little blue pill that your grandpa used. This is the 4-in-1 beast that is setting the gold standard for performance. We're talking 2 ingredients to keep the good times rolling, okay? Mixed with apomorphine and oxytocin that are going to turn up the arousal and the connections in your brain, as well as the ingredients to keep the blood flow, to keep everything pumping, okay? Blue Chew Gold dissolves into your tongue and works in as little as 15 minutes, and that means you're going to be rocking quicker and staying in the game longer. Blue Chew is the ultimate service to get you these chewables to your door in a discreet way to keep the bedroom on fire. Blue Chew has officially turned bedroom performance into an Olympic sport, okay? And just like the Olympics, you want to go for gold, all right, people? I'm telling you, this is the #1 chewable tablet, okay? And let me just say, that's how we put this tent up every single episode. We give Christos a Blue Chew, and you know what? We have this tent rocking all year round, okay? That's what it takes. Now, I recommend this in a married Christian relationship, but you know what? You guys can do whatever you want, okay? This is a free country, so if you're trying to, spice up the bedroom with your girlfriend, your boyfriend, whoever it is, this is the chewable for you, okay? And we have a special deal for the listeners of this program. You're going to get 10% off your first month of Blue Chew Gold if you use the code GAGNON, GAGNON. That's promo code GAGNON, GAGNON. You can visit bluechew.com for more details and important safety information. And thank you so much to Blue Chew for keeping the lights on and making this show possible. Now let's get back to it. But like everyone in America is like obsessed with making money and like this and that. Like it's nice because there's dreams.
Mm-hmm.
People believe that they can do something, and that's why I love being here. That's why my parents came here, because anything's possible. But sometimes too many things are possible. And every person you meet's like, yeah, I got this business I'm going to start, and it's going to do this, this, and this. Just wait. And like you have someone post on Instagram, and it's like, big things are coming. And then it's another picture of just like a T-shirt with like a logo printed on it. And you're like, really? And they're like, big things. It's going to take over the world. And you're like, all right. There's almost too much self-belief, where everyone believes that they can do anything, and a little part of me, the comic part, is a little bit like,
okay, but now I wanna ask you something, because I feel that's you. You criticize a little bit. You're a little more alternative.
Yeah.
But also you deal with people who wanna conquer the world.
Yeah, of course.
Like even the people like Andrew's a guy who thinks big.
Yeah, exactly.
And he is conquering the world.
That's why we work
and
so well
Akash
together.
wants to do people dance in the beginning of his show. It's like it's a lot. And I think that's them. But how do you navigate?
That's why we fit so well together.
Okay.
Because he will be like, we're gonna do this, and anything's possible. And then part of me is like, well, let's be realistic, okay? and then we find a little middle ground, and then we make great stuff. But like I feel like even in that regard, like I'm much more insecure. Like I have much more like self-doubt. And that self-doubt can be really helpful because I'm a good editor. But sometimes it can be inhibiting because I don't dream so big, And maybe I should dream bigger. But I surround myself by people that dream big, and it inspires me.
At the end of the day, what are we here for? To be happy. That's what it is.
Right.
Some people are happy with a lot.
Yes.
But then it becomes a hustle. Because you're always searching for something bigger. So you're never satisfied.
Yeah.
So when are you going to be... So it's good to be searching for this, looking, like trying to reach the stars. But what about if you reach the star and that's not enough?
And a lot of times it isn't, right? Like think about they call it gold medal depression. Have you heard of this? This is like an affliction that'll happen to Olympic athletes where they train their whole life and they go through everything, 5 years old, broken bones. They go through all the stuff. They win the gold medal.
And now?
And then they're depressed.
Yeah.
Because they thought, oh, once I achieve this, then I'll be good enough. I'll be worth it. I'll have achieved everything I want. And then they find themselves at the top of the podium going, is this all there? This is it?
That's why it connects what I was talking about my people. Because my people, I feel like we don't need that much to be happy. We made the choice of being happy. So that's why I come from a happy country. We struggle. We know that it's almost for people don't have sometimes opportunity to reach the stars.
It's almost hopeless.
It's just like I need to get enough to be able to eat. But when I do that, when I'm able to eat, what do? I just do a barbecue, a good resenha with my friends,
Yeah.
And I'm also like, sometimes I ask myself, where is the happiness for me? Because I feel like I'm a happy guy. But why did I move to America? Am I searching for something bigger than I had before? So when is it going to be enough? Now I'm thinking about doing shows in Spanish. Is this me searching for happiness, or is just me having fun with life? That's a question
Well,
that I ask myself all the time.
I don't think it's always bad. Like, again, I think some people just have a natural disposition for like conquest. And I don't think that it's good or bad. It's just kind of how it's directed. And I also think there has to be a little bit that's like a little stoic part of you that's like, okay, I'll be, I'll free myself from desire. I can just be happy with what I can control, and that's good enough. And again, don't get me wrong. I'm sort of like, kind of poo-pooing this American sensibility, but I have that also. Like, I have ambitions. But a lot of it comes from like an acceptance of death, where I'm like, I'm going to die. I might as well try as hard as I can right now and give it my best shot and see what happens. But there's also a part of me, and I kind of lean almost more to the Brazilian affect, I think, where I'm like, I have a son that I love, and I love spending time with my wife. Yeah. Like, if I had the opportunity to just like do this podcast, do Flagrant, do stand-up, and everything's the same, I think I would be like, I'm living my dream now. You know what I mean? Yeah. But part of me is like, I need to dream bigger. That way I can do more. But I'm completely content. Like, I'm so happy with everything that's happening in my life at this exact moment.
I think also when you have ups and downs in your life, you're able to appreciate more the ups, or choose some moments to be considered as ups. It's like, okay, I'm happy. I'm just happy. It's, I felt like in my career, I had moments when things weren't going that well for me. And then you have to make a choice. Do I just get depressed because things are not happening, because I was canceled, because of this and that, but at the end of the day, you just look at your son, you look at the audience you have, people that like you, maybe, also searching and like with entertainment sometimes in order for you to be big. I think you guys here in America, you can be big without being mainstream.
Yeah, exactly.
In other countries, it's difficult. In order for you to be really big, you need to play the game a little.
Yeah. Which I could see that being frustrating.
It is very frustrating. You don't feel free.
Right.
I feel free now. That's a choice I made. I had few moments in my life where I could make the choice to be a mainstream guy, and I didn't fit. And people are like, you have talent to be like one of the best communicators in this country. And I'm like, so I'm going to have to say what people want me to say? Am I going to be able to do the jokes I want? No. So power sometimes comes not with a responsibility. It comes with, what's the opposite of freedom? With
imprisonment. Yeah. That is true. True. Specifically where you are. There's people in America that have very successful shows in entertainment, or they have great businesses, and no one knows who they are. And they're not the richest guy in the world, but they're completely, all their needs are met. And I don't know. Part of me is like, I'm fine with that. I don't chase fame. Like, it's not an interesting thing. Like, I almost look at, like, again, I would love to perform in front of big audiences and have people come to my shows.
Well, that's fame.
But to me, and again, I haven't worked this out completely, but like, my feeling is that I see fame as a consequence of doing something well. And so, like, if I can become so great at stand-up that people want to go see me, that is good. It's a byproduct.
Okay.
The goal is not to be so famous that people come see me do stand-up. The goal is to be so good at stand-up that consequently you become famous. Like, I don't know if
they are connected, bro.
Of course they're connected, but I don't know if Ronaldinho was like, I'm going to become good at soccer so I can become famous. In the same way, like, Steph Curry is like, I'm not going to become great at basketball so I can be a famous person. I find that a lot of people in entertainment are like, I'm going to become a famous person, and this will be my way to do it. Maybe I'll become a streamer, maybe I'll become a podcaster, da-da-da.
I think when I started, I wanted to be famous.
Yeah, and I think that's a common feeling.
I wanted to be famous.
And don't get me wrong, there was a part of me when I was 18 doing stand-up, I was like, oh, maybe I could be famous. As I've become more known, the appeal of fame has really worn off. And if it's a byproduct or a consequence, then so be it. But I'm also completely fine going to a restaurant, waiting for a table, but also not being, interacted with all the time, or being with my family, and that's okay. Or like not having my son have to deal with the consequence of my success.
And also, it's cool when people know you because of your creativity.
Oh, yeah.
They know you because they kind of agree with you, because they like something specifically you did, not because it's just you're there.
Yeah, I don't necessarily need to be like, oh, that guy. I would love for someone to come up to me and be like, you did an episode on this super specific thing that no one ever talks about that I thought was amazing. Yeah. And then it's like, oh, let's have a conversation because you're like me. And I love to have human connection that's predicated on things that I'm interested in, of course, like all people. And so if someone comes up to me and they're like, oh, you did this podcast on Hinduism or, on Napoleon, and then they talked about Napoleon, I'm like, oh, this is great. But if some guy's just like, you're that guy,
then that is not pleasing.
it's fine. It's nice to always be known, and there's always something nice about, being acknowledged in a universe that doesn't really care about you. But it feels deeper when someone knows. And they go, hey, I had that same experience that you talked about on stage.
I agree.
And now there's a connection.
I agree.
And so fame for fame's sake seems a little fruitless.
I agree.
It's also completely intangible. You can't really aim for it, Like if you gave me an option of like, hey, you have to do stand-up in this specific way and you'll be super famous. Or you can do stand-up the way that you really want to and be much less known but way more connected with your people because you're being honest. I think the second is way better. Right?
For sure.
I think...
Well, but that's the problem is there's a risk. If you make that choice, people don't connect to you.
The first choice.
No, the second choice.
Why?
Because, okay, you're doing the way you want. Does that mean that people are going to like what you want?
You hope that there's enough that you can live.
Okay.
And if
I feel like if you search for the people, it's easier for them to reach more people.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're searching for a big audience. Even if you don't get 100% of what you're aiming, if you get 20, it's already a huge audience because you're thinking big.
Yeah.
If you're thinking just like little connections and people are like, you know what, fuck you and your Brooklyn show.
Yeah, exactly.
Then you're like by yourself, but I have my integrity, so nobody cares about
Exactly.
you.
And that's where I think it's a spectrum, and I think you kind of have to choose where you want to be on the spectrum. And I think I lean a little more towards like, I have my people that listen to this show and they like it, and that's great.
Yeah.
And if the option is like, hey, change the show completely and you get everyone, or keep it how it is and you maintain, I'd be like...
Do you have people who watch Flagrant and they're like, I don't like this guy? Or do you have people who watch you and they're like, please leave that shit? You have that too?
Never like...
I like them both. I think
of course.
Two completely different things. I'm thinking about them and their perception.
It'll never be dismissive. Like, it won't really be dismissive. Every now and again, I'll meet people at shows that, like, afterwards I'll do like a Q&A thing. And, people ask about Flagrant, of course, because that's a big population of people that come to the shows. But so every now and again, it's not very common, but every now and again, there'll be someone that comes up to me and they go, hey, I love camp. What is Flagrant? It's very rare, but it'll happen. And I go, oh, whoa, how did you even find this? Like, it's like bizarre to me that found them. But they did, and it's a specific type of person that's interested in like, like interviews and long form stuff and culture and religion and history and stuff. And then Flagrant people will be, much more like comedy centric. They like current events and like hot takes and stuff. And so, and most of the audience is an overlap of both. And they watch both and they like both for different reasons.
Okay.
But yeah, there's a contingent on the one side that's like, we only watch Flagrant. I didn't know you had a podcast. That's just you. And then there'll be a much smaller portion that's like, just watch the camp stuff. Okay. And then I tell them like, dude, check out Flagrant. You might like it, But it's very rarely like, with any type of animosity. But it is interesting to meet only the camp people. It's very funny.
Yeah, I was just thinking that like there's some... Because doing Flagrant probably gives you very good exposure, and that's good for you, of course. But also there's controversies there that you're like, all of a sudden you're in the middle of this couch and you're like, I don't know if whatever, this is gonna be on me. I was like, which is part of the
it
game.
Happens, but to me, I'm like, so long as I'm being honest, then it's okay. And if the honesty is like, I don't know what's going on, I don't have a take on this, then so be it. And if I'm going to like insert myself, I just need to kind of reflect and be like, is this really how I feel?
Okay.
And then if that's the case and I'm involved in the controversy and people don't like me for that reason, I can live with that because I was being honest. Okay. But so long as it's consistent. And that is like, I think a human journey that people go on, but being in the public eye, there's a much more of an obligation to reflect on what you actually believe, Like, I wonder if that happens for you. Like, is there a version of you that, like, you come to America and people don't know about any controversy in Brazil, or you go to Brazil and people don't know about anything in America?
When I moved to America, I never used credentials to get anywhere. When I started, I wanted to do this club and that club. My career in America, of course, people end up kind of finding out. But like I got past at most of the clubs without people knowing who I am. Sometimes I'm with a friend, I'm talking to a friend. It happened a few times. Someone come up to me and they're having my friends for like 1 or 2 years. And they're like, my Uber guy was from Brazil, and I asked if he knew you, and he was like, "Oh my God, you're friends with Rafi," and then they come up to me like, "Who are you?
That's so
What
funny.
is?" And I was like, "You don't need to know. I didn't come here to be the same. I've come here to actually try to express myself in different ways. Otherwise I would be the same guy."
That's really cool, though.
You know,
That's really cool.
And I had an amazing opportunity, Mark, which was start my life again. And I wanted to actually do it from scratch. I'm not able to because I'm still big in Brazil. If I go and I do Orlando, I do Miami, 80% of the people are going to be Brazilians. That's my audience and I love them. But like when I'm in the scene here, nobody knows who I am. The other day, Esti, the booker at the Comedy Cellar, found out that I did SNL in Brazil. There's a picture. Put a SNL Rafinha, because I'm Rafinha in Brazil. You're gonna SNL Brazil. I think you're gonna. So I did SNL in Brazil, which is the same stage and everything else. Someone told her that, and I was like, "Yeah, I did it." And she was like, "What? If people don't know this, they don't have to."
But that is.
I just wanted to conquer because of the quality that I'm doing on
exactly.
stage.
But that's a commitment to the craft, right? Like
That's why I moved here. That's all. That's exactly why I moved here. I wanted to do this in the biggest, I wouldn't say biggest stage, but the most professional and with the best people.
Do you notice a difference with American comics and Brazilian comics in terms of technique?
Oh, look at this. This is.
Oh, wow. It literally is like the same.
Yeah. That was our first show.
Wow.
Our first show, and we premiere SNL in Brazil. Is the same thing, the same band, the same.
How old are you here?
This was 2014, so 11 years ago.
Wow.
So that was like our first show.
Were you a part of SNL starting there? Like
I was the Lord Michaels of SNL Brazil.
were you really?
I hired the people, and I also did the Weekend Update,
Wow.
and I hosted the first show.
How long did you do it for?
We did it for like 1 year and a half, I think. It was not that long. It didn't work that well.
Really?
Yeah.
But it was a big deal when I'm sure it premiered. Like people were like,
It did.
"Oh,
It did. Yeah.
it made a splash."
It did, but also like nobody cared that much about the fact. If you think about it, yeah, the media care, the comics care, but it's Brazil. They don't even know. Like most of the people don't speak English, so the name of the show was Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
They don't know this. Most of the people don't know this, and the show was not even on Saturday; it was on Sunday. And after 2 months, it wasn't even live anymore.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny.
So we did sketches. We did a lot. It was cool.
That's so cool. But I could see that coming over and then someone in America being like,
yeah.
"Whoa."
So people don't know. I did so much, bro. I had my own talk show on TV, like a daily talk show. I was like Jimmy Kimmel in Brazil for a while. Yeah. And but I moved here and I'm like, people don't have to know this. I just want to step on stage. I don't want people to think about credential, what I did or what I didn't do. Because, and also I felt like I see a lot of like I wouldn't say all comics, but most international comics who come to this country end up in my vicinity, in my atmosphere. Somehow they cross paths with me. Mainly the ones who don't speak English. Irish and Australian, they speak English. That's not a thing. But like people from South America, people from, Russia and all those places, Germany, they all end up close to me. And most of those comics, they get frustrated really soon. Because you're famous in your country, you have an audience, and then here you send a message to the booker of the stand-up New York, and he doesn't answer. And you're like, what am I doing here? I'm already 2 months in this country. I don't have any spots scheduled. What am I going to do? And that happened with me in the beginning. But I was so focused on making this happen that I never second-guessed myself.
Did you ever have bad shows?
Oh, yeah.
Did it ever cast doubt?
No, but here's the thing, Mark. In my country for years, I would step on stage and everybody knew who I was, So the experience was a completely different thing.
Is it weird?
So coming here and bombing in the beginning, it was like, That's awesome.
Really?
You made me excited. I was like, this is amazing. I'm going to prove myself to these people.
Yeah.
So one day I'm going to be in the big clubs. One day I'm going to conquer this shit. Yeah, I could send emails saying, oh, look at how many followers I have. And that could open a few doors. But I was like, I'm not going to do that. Let the life take me to this. Also, okay, one thing that helped me, I was able to make a little bit of money. So I wasn't worried about having to pay the bills.
Right.
I didn't have to get a job in a restaurant to pay my bills. That helped a lot. Okay. But I was never caught by the frustration. I remember there was a show here in New York at the Needy Factory.
Yeah, of course.
Every Sunday.
Down the block.
Okay. It's here. Every Sunday. And I remember one day someone booked me on that show. And I went there. I was, of course, it was like 2019, I think, or 18. As soon as I moved here, someone booked me, and it's like a long show, 2 hours and a half. I was sitting there, just waiting for the guy to call me, because at the beginning I was like, "Oh, I'm Rafi, I'm a comic. Oh, you can stay here," and I stayed there 2 hours and a half. And at the end of the show, thank you very much, guys. See you next week. The guy never called me, and I was like, you have to be standing in a corner for 2 hours and a half.
A little nervous. You're like, all right, here we
I was
go.
like,
And
I want to
can
go.
do
I want to
this.
do
Let's
it. I want to do it. He never called me. And at the end of the show, I went up to the guy. I was like, bro, what happened? And I was like, so what happened? What? I was like, you never called me. I was like, well, but are you going to perform? I was like, yeah, because a friend of mine in LA got me the spot. Jade Carapreta. She's a very good friend.
Oh, yeah.
And she helped me a lot in the beginning.
Oh, yeah, she's Brazilian too.
Yeah,
she's
was
great.
born in Brazil. She lived just a little bit there.
Right.
So she helped me with that show. And at the end, it was like, bro, I don't know who you are. I'm sorry. Oh, Jade, I'm sorry. I think she actually talked to me. Oh, I didn't know. And I remember leaving that show. I even did the story. I was like, this is amazing. They don't know who I am. The guy didn't call me because he didn't know if I was famous or not. He didn't feel bad for me or anything like that because, oh, he's famous, so we have to treat him with care. No. Fuck this. I'm not going to. He didn't call me. That's awesome. One day, I'm going to be in the clubs in New York, and then they're going to see me. And one day, I'm going to be in a position that they are not going to prove myself, and I'm going to be better than them. It was inspiring.
Yeah.
So, but this mindset, I didn't see in any other comic coming from other country here. Most of the comics who are from other countries that are able to make it here are not big in their countries. So they kind of like started their careers here.
But what's interesting is that the ones that I think are big, at least in my experience, I can think of only a couple, but there is a humility because you already have the confidence to know I've did it once, I can do it again. Like, I don't know if you know Jonas Joseph.
No.
Could you pull up a picture of Jonas? He's a Norwegian comedian. He's technically Somali, is where his family's from, but he grew up his whole life in Norway. He's a massive comedian in Norway. He does theaters all in
you
Norwegian.
Know what? Crazy to say, I saw a video of this guy today.
Not anything.
I think I saw a video of him today.
Really?
Someone say I didn't know who he was.
Yeah.
Was it you?
No, Jonas Joseph, comedian.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I saw the guy, like skinny guy.
Yeah. And he's great, and he's the nicest dude ever, and he's so famous in Norway. And I met him at an open mic.
Okay.
Like literally like an open mic. It wasn't literally, but it was basically an open mic. And I don't even think he was going up. It was like a small club over here. I was working out new stuff, and I met him, and he was like, "Hey man, what's up?" Like I ran into him one time when we were in Norway, something like this. And he was like, "Dude, I've watched your stuff. Great to meet you." And I was like, "Oh, great to meet you also." And then we got to talking, and I pried it out of him. I was like, "Have you done comedy before?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm just getting into it in New York." I was like, "From where?" And he's like, "Well, I've been doing it for like 14 years in Norway." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And then it came to be that he's written multiple shows. He does theaters. He's like so famous. Yeah. But he had a humility when he came here to be. I was even asking him. I was like, "Why are you here?" And he was like, "Well, I want to earn it." And I was like,
"That's what I did. Yeah, that's exactly the same mindset. That's awesome. I'm gonna hit that guy up.
He's great. He's awesome. Great. Yes.
Yeah, I saw a video of him today. It's amazing.
He's awesome.
Oh, he's gonna be in Brooklyn performing here.
He's the best. He's a great guy, and he's extremely funny. And he's basically, I don't want to say you specifically because it's different paths, but he's kind of in that same mindset. This was maybe like a year ago, and he was like, "I want to earn it. I want to go to the open mics. I want to grind. I want I want to eat shit and I want to get better and I want to do it the right way.
That's awesome.
And I was like, you're going to be okay.
Uh-huh.
You know?
Well, at the end of the day, if everything goes bad, you can always come back to your country, you know. We are safe at the end of the day. I think the person who was trying to make it for the first time have a much bigger chip on his shoulder than me, you know. But also some people can look at me and be like, well, you can bomb in another country, so why are you messing with this? I felt like the challenge was inspiring for me. And also I wanted to learn, you know. I felt like I was always the reference in my country.
Yeah, do it right.
Look at the for a few years there was people like doing stand-up a little bit of with my tone, you know. So I was the reference for years. I wanted to see here. If I hadn't moved here, I wouldn't have the chance to meet so many people and watch people that are like, who is this guy?
Yeah.
You know, because we know the big names. Probably I would know about Bill Burr and Chappelle, but I would never know about you. I would never know about Lenny Marcus. He's an amazing writer, and every time I see him on something,
Greer Barnes, one of the best.
Greer Barnes, those guys, I would never know about these guys. So it's an opportunity for me to learn more about my craft. This is something I love to do, you know.
Well, it's amazing, and it's awesome to watch you on stage. Every time I get the chance to pop into the cellar and see you, it's truly a pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me, brother.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Thank
Not having
you. It
me.
was a pleasure.
I'm so inspired by it.
It's just one block. It was just one subway stop from my house.
Well, let's do it again soon.
Thank you, brother.
Rafi Bastos.
Thank you very much,
Rafinha.
brother. Thank you.
Thank you, brother.